Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. While no act of murder should be seen as palatable, it is not unusual to see a community going into wild celebration whenever a goat thief or a person involved in predatory larceny is caught, beaten and killed.
Them two thief. Me have my 3 goat. 3 of them time me I see everything, and when me go, me only say 1. And every night when me go in and remember the goat them, water run out of me eye.
However, outside of those circumstances, life is usually viewed as secret, and most people would want it to be treated that way. In fact, most murders attract condemnation, especially when the victim is a child, as children are often seen as being totally innocent, which is usually reason enough to spark collective outrage and the rekindling of the debate about hanging, which many Jamaicans feel should be reserved for the most heinous crimes such as the murder of children. In looking at one such case, I am 100% sure that the vast majority of Jamaicans would gladly put away their reservation about hanging and support the hanging of Roshane Barnett, the Clarendon man who murdered his cousin Kemisha Wright and her 4 children, who were murdered at their Cocoa Peace home in 2022, all because Barnett felt that Wright had dissed him, the Jamaican slang for treating somebody badly. I am also sure that many Jamaicans would have no objection to the state taking the life of the woman who kidnapped 80-year-old Danielle Rowe from her school in Brayton, St. Catherine in June 2023 and murdered her. Like the rest of Jamaica, Western Jamaica has had a few incidents of the gruesome murder of children. The most recent case, which occurred in January 2022, was the killing of 9-year-old Gabriel King, who was allegedly killed by men who carjacked his mother's vehicle, kicked her out, and then drove away with him in the back of the vehicle. When the car was found, he was found dead in the back seat with his throat slashed. While the killing of young King is clothed with intrigue and drama, especially the fact that his mother has refused to turn over the cell phone that she had on the day of the killing, his death attracted the usual outrage, as regardless of the circumstances of his death, the society is not yet ready to embrace the killing of a child. However, of all the killings of children in Western Jamaica, none comes close to the 2013 killing of 4-year-old Natasha Brown, who was murdered and dumped in a 10 feet deep sinkhole in Duanvale in the parish of Trelawny. She was reportedly killed by her father's ex-girlfriend, who was angered by the fact that her father had ended a relationship with her. In this edition of Lest You Forget, I will be revisiting that incident from a story I wrote for The Gleaner, which was published on May 30th, 2013, under the headline, Jealousy Blame for a Child's Murder. Dad's ex-lover accused of butchering 4-year-old. The story read as follows. Rage, believed to be spawned by jealousy, is being blamed for Tuesday's murder of 4-year-old Natasha Brown of Duanvale in Trelawny, whose decapitated body was retrieved from a 10-foot deep sinkhole in the community yesterday. A woman who is said to be the ex-lover of the dead child's father was taken into custody by the police after she reportedly confessed to the killing and subsequently led investigators to the sinkhole late Tuesday evening. However, the body was not retrieved until shortly after 10 a.m. yesterday. I simply can't believe it, said Natasha's distraught father, Balvin Brown, who admitted to ending a relationship with the accused killer 5 months ago. How could someone do something like this to a child? The child's mother, Marvelyn Graham, who was among the scores of residents who converged on the scene, appeared dazed and distant as she sat motionless in a police vehicle with a blank look on her face. She has been like this since the news broke Tuesday night that her daughter's body was in the sinkhole, one of Graham's cousins told the Gleaner. I never believed something like this could happen in Duanvale, let alone to my family. We are all in shock. While he did not live at the same location with his daughter, the deceased child's grieving father was very fond of her and said he was always of the view that she had a bright future. She was doing very well in school, and I just had a good feeling that she was going to make me proud, the father said. This was a special child who was well loved. I can't believe a woman with 4 children of her own would do this to my child. According to the reports, as was customary, a relative took Natasha within a short distance of the Duanvale Basic School, which she attended, shortly after 8 o'clock Tuesday morning, and left her to walk the remainder of the journey on her own. However, she never showed up at school. Later that morning, the accused killer was reportedly seen carrying a crocus bag towards the sinkhole. She reportedly told someone she was going to dump the remains of a dead animal. When news began to circulate in the district that Natasha was missing, the resident related what she had seen the accused woman doing, and the information was passed on to the police. When the accused woman, who was reportedly quite angry with the child's dad for ending their relationship, was located, she reportedly confessed to killing the child and led the police to the sinkhole. With firefighters and the police having difficulty accessing the sinkhole as night approached on Tuesday, the search for the child's body was called off until yesterday morning. Shortly after 10 a.m. yesterday, a resident identified as Marvin Gossett was lowered into the sinkhole, and he retrieved the body and the head, which was severed. It was really a simple task. Once I got into the hole, I searched around until I found the body, which was badly chopped up, said Gossett, who was lauded by the residents for challenging the treacherous sinkhole. I continued to search until I found the head. When the remains were taken from the sinkhole, relatives were able to identify the child by her school uniform. The Falmouth police who were carrying out an investigation confirmed the accused killer was in custody. In looking back at that brutal murder, it was definitely one of those unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica. Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. Before you go, please remember to subscribe.